Hi, everybody. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. I'll give you a couple of brief introductions. My name is Whitney, and I'm the Marketing Director for Roadside Dental Marketing. And I'm very pleased to be joined today by Shannon Mackey. She is our co-founder, and we love to call her our chief cheerleader, and you're going to see why in today's video. So we have a lot that we're going to dive into, tons of really great information to share with you. And so we're going to dive in with a very interesting question that Shannon's going to pose to the group.
Okay, so who in this room has heard the phrase fight or flight? Did you know that during our leisure time, not counting work, each of us processes 34 gigabytes or 100,000 words every day? Since 1986, the amount of information thrown at us each day has increased 5 times. That would be the equivalent of reading 7 entire newspapers a day, every single day. So it's no wonder we feel overwhelmed sometimes, right? Now, as office managers, I believe we can add a whole lot more to that statistic. Why? Because we have our families to care for, okay, but we also have our doctor to care for. We have our team to care for. We have our patients to care for. But can you also say that you are truly caring for yourselves? You see, everything that I just talked about, this all puts us into that fight or flight mode, or it's also called survival mode. Do you think we are our most resourceful self in that mode? Well, absolutely not. What other mode, you might ask, should we be putting ourselves in? It is our creativity mode. This is the best mode to be able to give, inspire, solve problems, build, love, have peace. The question arises then, how do I get and keep myself in that mode? I mean, I want that mode, sounds amazing, right? Well, you might be asking yourselves right about now, why in the world is Shannon bringing this up in a marketing workshop, for Pete's sake? Well, I will tell you. We have been truly inspired to create an empowering and unique amount of educational tools to help you in your practice really have the best marketing year ever. When it comes to marketing, we constantly hear office managers tell us that they're just not sure what they really need, or they're overwhelmed. I just don't have time, or just don't know where to start. Well, guess what? Those are the problems we will help you solve today.
So I just want to piggyback a little bit on what Shannon just shared. Information overload is real. Technology has changed rapidly. The amount of information that we get hit with each and every day, like Shannon mentioned, it's out of control. And so to really be successful, personally, professionally, we want to set our intentions. And the same really does go for our marketing. We want our efforts and the work that we put into it to be intentional. We don't want them to be haphazard. But let's be real, that's a challenge, right? Because life happens. Things get piled up on your desk, and the marketing efforts or the promotion efforts that maybe you were really excited to try, they can get pushed to the side, right? So today's presentation is designed to help you do some of the foundational work that is going to enable you to market and promote your brand in a simple and straightforward way. We're going to give you the tools to be able to do that, and we're really excited about it. But I'd like to be able to take a minute to draw your attention to something that's very important, and that's the idea of mindset. Why is our mindset about marketing so important? Well, as you can see on the screen, when we stick with the same thinking, we end up with the same results. And that is very true in marketing. It's true in a lot of areas, but it's very true in marketing. Many of us tend to kind of think of marketing as selling or being salesy. And if that is not our natural born tendency, then we might feel a little icky about it. It's not something we're super comfortable with. It conjures up images of the used car salesman, and we don't like that. But I would like to help shift your mindset about marketing. So bear with me. I'd like you to go ahead and participate in an exercise with me. I don't want you to think about selling, but instead, I'd like you to close your eyes and take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Okay? We set? All right. Now, instead of thinking about selling, I want you to answer a couple of questions in your mind. How do we help people in our community? Why do they need what we can do for them? How do they benefit? What is the value in what we do? What's the value in what you personally do? In what your doctor does? In what the team does? How have you helped people to live happier, healthier lives, to regain their confidence? What problems have you solved for people? I want you to really think about that for a second because it's very, very special. Think about the amazing things that you do for people each and every day. You help them to get out of pain. You help them to be able to regain their confidence, to smile freely, to be able to enjoy happy, healthy lives with their family, with their friends. You enable them to be able to overcome fear. You help them to be able to get the care that they need without feeling guilty or lectured. You solve problems for people every single day. You have the power to change their lives. You're already doing it. Now I want you to really think about that for a second. That's special. And how does it make you feel when you think about it that way? Well, you want to shout it from the rooftops, right? That's marketing. That's marketing. Marketing is simply sharing with the world why your practice is amazing, what problems you solve for people in your community each and every day. Marketing is sharing why there's value in what you do, in the problems that you solve. That's marketing, and that is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to build that foundation so that you are empowered to shout from the rooftops in your community why people need what you have to offer. So prior to attending today's workshop, you were sent a PDF of our action plan workbook. This guy right here. So we've designed this amazing tool to be able to help you do all of this work. You're going to be equipped with the information that you need to be able to create your 12-month marketing action plan. Since we only have a limited amount of time in the video, we're not going to be filling out the workbook during today's meeting, but what we are going to do is we're going to walk you through the exercises in the book. We're going to help give you that foundation so that you have a game plan and you are ready to hit the ground running. And we're going to be available for Q&A afterwards. So jot down any questions that come up as we go because we're going to be happy to answer them. Your workbooks contain a lot of resources and they're broken up into 3 main sections. The first section is marketing, planning, and research. Section number 2 is where we get to do the fun stuff. That's where we get to actually create our 12-month marketing action plan. And section number 3 is full of marketing resources and tools that we at Roadside use with our clients all the time, so we know that they work. Now this workbook, the beauty of it is that it's designed to reprint and reuse every single year. Take the pages that you love the most and reprint them constantly. We hope that this will be a resource that you can use for a very long time to come. So we're going to dive in first with the first section of our workbook, which is marketing, planning, and research. Now you're going to notice that being prepared is going to take some work.
The number one barrier we hear from our office managers is, I don't know if my marketing is even working. The first couple of pages are designed to help you start to identify what's working, what's not. It's that easy. Then you can absolutely know where things are at. So it's not this doom and gloom, stressful mystery hanging over your head because you need to do something with your marketing. You now have it. Are you feeling me on this one? You'll be able to see it. So yeah, it's going to take just a little bit of time and effort, but the huge benefit now is your strategy becomes your GPS. Know your destination and the path to get there. So instead of driving around aimlessly, you'll know exactly where you're going and you'll take the most straightforward route.
So we're going to start with what we know, which does involve a little bit of research. To set achievable marketing goals, we need to know where we're at right now. So the first thing we're going to do is gather up some data on the previous year. Average new patients each month, average monthly revenue. You'll notice too that on this page there are a couple of blank areas for you to fill in information that's really pertinent and important to your practice. The next page is going to enable us to evaluate the marketing efforts that we've already invested in. So take a look at this sheet and think about your previous year. Which of these efforts did you invest time or money into? And then honestly evaluate, how did it go? And, before we say, well, that didn't work, we want to really think, well, did this particular avenue not work great because we didn't invest enough time into it? Or maybe it wasn't managed properly. So as you go through this sheet, you're going to want to think about that. And when we talk about an investment, it's not always dollars. Sometimes the investment is time, your team's time. Time is incredibly valuable. So think about that too. Maybe it's something that maybe you didn't pay a marketing agency to do for you, but your team did spend time on it. So include those notes there. The next exercise in our workbook is something called SWOT. Now, SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The purpose of this exercise is to identify any internal or external factors that will affect the success of the practice. And as we go through this exercise, you're going to see why this is really important foundational information for your marketing. Identifying your strengths allows you to be able to build on them to meet business objectives. And this is really fun. It's always fun to think about our strengths, right? Weaknesses, not always super fun, but knowing what our weaknesses are can give us the chance to possibly correct them or reverse course on something, make a couple changes to be able to fix those areas. Opportunities, that's a really fun exercise too, because opportunities gives us the ability to kind of dream, think about what we want to do, what kinds of things could lay ahead. This is really helpful for planning, for goal setting, even for knowing who you might want to hire over the course of the next coming year. Knowing your opportunities is really, really valuable. And then finally, threats. It's good to recognize possible threats, to be able to take the measures to avoid them if needed. So this is a really effective tool for breaking down and understanding data. It's relatively simple and straightforward, but it can provide a sense of direction so that we know where we want to go over the course of the coming year. It can help us to develop those future marketing plans. Now, as you look in your workbook, you're going to see that page 7 has some dental inspired questions to kind of help you get started. And then page 8 is blank for you to fill out, but you can use those questions on page 7 to help you get started.
So how easy is this? This is awesome. Strengths, well, that's fun, right? What makes your practice awesome? What sets your practice apart from other practices in your area? I mean, what really sets you apart? What technology, amenities, continued ed, things like that you do that or you have that your competitors don't have, or you're just amazing rock stars at it. Weaknesses. Well, this isn't as fun, but it is so telling once you get started on this. What does your team say needs improvement? What factors contribute to reduced production or recall? Is your doctor stuck in an old school mindset? Let's prioritize which one of these need to be fixed first so we don't waste our efforts. Opportunities. This is super fun. Are there more production opportunities in the current schedule? Can you add new treatments and technology? Can you better help patients overcome a barrier? Why aren't they saying yes to the treatment plans? Do we need to offer in-house savings plans? Something that you might have thought about in the past, but now it's right in front of you, and we're going to put it in the strategy. And we don't want to forget about the threats that Whitney talked about. Look at, honestly, what are your barriers? Are your competitors offering something better, newer, more convenient, less expensive? You need to kind of put your toes out in the water and check them out once in a while. Do you have HR or team issues? Well, let's get that business taken care of before we put all this other time and effort into other focuses, so it might be wasted. And we see that when our practices are doing this, the doctors love this exercise. It gets everybody excited. And one reason why is because we spend so much time and money on our marketing, on your marketing, but we'll get better ROI if we schedule in working on our threats and weaknesses, even if it's just one per quarter, depending on your practice needs.
I love that suggestion of just tackling one thing per quarter. I really like that. That's less overwhelming, right? We want this to be doable, and that sounds doable. So that SWOT exercise is really valuable because it helps us set priorities for the coming year. Now let's think about our customers. We want to think about our target potential patients. The customer persona is designed to help you be able to think about your potential patients and consider what are their needs, what are their desires, what are their problems, what are their barriers. The reason that this exercise is so valuable is because it helps us to stop thinking about just like a marketing audience, but really to think about real people. This goes right along with what we talked about earlier about mindset, right? We solve problems. We help people. And so when we think about our customers or our potential patients, we want to think, okay, what are their needs? What are their problems? Are we really addressing those in our marketing? Are we showing on our website and in our other efforts that we really understand them? Are we communicating and shouting from the rooftops how we can help them and why they should choose us over the competition? You know, being a marketer is actually very similar to being a healthcare provider. All day long, every single day, you're thinking about solving problems for people. You're answering questions. You're addressing concerns and addressing their barriers. You're making them feel comfortable. And really, marketing is the exact same thing. It's helping people to understand the value that you offer and why they should choose you over the competition. And so doing this customer persona can help us to really see where we need to tailor our content, maybe our website, our overall messaging to be able to really address those needs and desires and barriers of our potential patients. Now, next up, we want to think about our competition. And thinking about our competition is not always super fun, but we have to do that because your practice does not exist in a bubble. We have to consider the broader competitive space and what your practice needs to be able to do to beat out your competition. So you need to know who your competitors are, what they're doing, and where in relation to your practice their efforts are. So this is actually very simple to do with the worksheets that we've provided. It's really easy to do with a little bit of help from our old pal Google. So here's what we're going to do. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to think about maybe one or two of our top competitors who we consider to be our top competition. And then we're going to do a little bit of Googling. We're going to see, okay, what does their website look like? Does it look newer than ours? What's the photography like? Is it better than ours? Does it have more content, less content than we do? Are they using video? Do they have any current promotions or special offers? Take a look at what you can find and then fill out this sheet. Another thing that we're going to look at is their broader online presence. What are they doing on social media? Which social networks are they using the most? How often are they posting? What kind of content are they posting? How many followers do they have? Are they using YouTube? Are they running Google ads? Where are they showing up in search results? All super valuable questions. We can also then jot down, how is their messaging stronger or weaker than ours? The primary thing that we kind of want to discover is what might make a patient choose them over us. And that's a little uncomfortable sometimes to try and figure out. But once you're equipped with that information, it is so incredibly valuable. Now, the next thing that we want to talk a little bit about is something called unique value proposition, or UVP. Some of you may have heard of this in the past. So your unique value proposition, it's not a catchy tagline or a slogan. It's not your mission statement. It's not your products. It's not your services. It's not what you do. It's not how you do it. But rather, it's why you do what you do. I'm going to think back to that mindset conversation that we had earlier. Your value is the thing that sets you apart. It's your unique identifier. Your UVP can help you to articulate your value and the benefits that you bring, how you solve problems, ultimately why patients should choose you over other practices in the area. And the benefit of this exercise, identifying what makes us different, why should patients choose us? The benefit here is that once you've defined your UVP, you can then step back and evaluate, am I putting that into my marketing? Does my community know about my UVP? We're changing lives. We're helping our community to be happier, to be healthier, to have their confidence back. Now, the question really is, are you shouting that from the rooftops? We're using website as an example here in the slides, but really this applies to all of your marketing efforts. Are you showing how you solve patients' problems? Are you proving that you understand their needs and desires? Are you communicating how you benefit them? Your UVP is the thing that's going to help you both define what that is and then evaluate if you're using it in all of your marketing efforts. Now, if the answer is no, if you're not doing that at the moment, that's okay. That is what this whole presentation is about. If that's something that you need to work on, then you can work it into your action plan for the coming year. Now, these exercises that we've just done, they're super important for determining what those efforts are going to be for the coming year. Maybe it's time to invest in a new website or improve your overall online presence. Shannon mentioned earlier that one of the biggest barriers that we hear this all the time from people that we meet, they're just concerned because they're just not sure if their marketing is working for them. Marketing's an investment, and we want to make sure that it's working for us, right? And so many of you are just not sure if what you're doing is really valuable or if it's working for you. So if your current website is not totally answering the needs of your customers or communicating your UVP, then it might be time to rethink it. If it is, then fantastic. You can move on and do other exciting promotional efforts. But if not, it might be time for some updates, maybe a total overhaul. And if you've ever struggled to get buy-in from your boss, maybe you've gone to your boss and said, we need a new website, and they've kind of said, okay, yeah, maybe next year. Well, once you have all of this data outlined in your action plan workbook, you are going to be equipped with real data that is going to really matter, that could potentially help you get buy-in. So with that in mind, I want to draw your attention to pages 14 and 15 of your workbook. This is really fun. This is where the rubber meets the road. On page 14, we're going to take our key takeaways from the exercises that we've done. SWOT, customer personas, competitor research, UVP, jot down a few bullet points. And then on page 15, we're going to narrow it down further. Thinking about these takeaways, we're going to choose 4 top priorities for the coming year. Remember, Shannon mentioned just tackle one thing per quarter. We're going to run with that idea because it can be very successful. Let's choose 4 top priorities based on our research that we want to address during the coming year. Now, breaking this up can help us to really prioritize so that we're not driving around aimlessly without a GPS. So we're going to take a minute and we're going to recap just a couple of key takeaways. Yes, time and effort are involved in section 1 of your workbook, but it's so worth it because this gives you that guide. This gives you those GPS directions so that you know exactly how to reach your promotion and marketing goals. Reviewing those previous marketing efforts and numbers can really help you to know what you're starting with. Now, identifying this really important information about strengths and opportunities, customers, competition, this enables you to build your 12-month action plan around your specific needs and goals. And then finally, another major takeaway that we want you to remember is that your unique value proposition, or your why, that needs to be a driving force throughout all of your marketing efforts. That's the thing that's going to really help people understand why they should choose you. So we want to make sure that that is involved in all of our marketing efforts. So with that, we're going to move onward to our next section, which is our 12-month marketing action plan. This is really fun because section 2 in our workbook helps us go from the planning and the research side to actually creating our action plan. So you've done this research and now you're in a really good position to decide what's next for the coming year. Now, I just want to say though, it's very important to make this realistic. If we try and dive in to goals that are not sustainable or realistic long term, then we're not going to stick to it. Our workbook is going to help you to set the goals that are realistic and smart. I know most of you have probably seen this in the past, but we want the goals that we set for our marketing to be smart. They need to be specific. We want to define our goal clearly, and we're going to also define the steps involved in reaching that goal. We need the goal to be measurable. We need to track the progress and the outcome. Can't just say something like, we want more new patients. Well, how many more new patients? It's really important for the goal to be measurable. Is it achievable? We don't want to set a goal that's completely unrealistic for our team. That can be super discouraging. Is it relevant? Is the goal consistent with our UVP, with our values, and with what we want to achieve in the coming year? And finally, is it timely? We have to give our goal a deadline. This helps bring a sense of urgency and helps us with time management. Now, I want to bring up an important point about goal setting. The first is that not only do we need to set goals, but we need to think about the habits that go along with reaching a goal. We know this is true in, let's say, if our goal is to become healthier in the new year. A lot of people set health and wellness or fitness goals in the new year. So using that as an example, if our goal is to get healthier, but we fill our house with junk food, well, then we're not setting ourselves up for success, right? So when we're goal setting, we want to do the things that are going to help set us up for success. And your action plan workbook is here to help you do that. Now, we also want to involve our business team in some of the decision making here. And the reason is that we want to dial in what's truly important to the doctor, to the business team, to you. It's important to be specific here because a lack of specificity can cause frustration, right? If you think that success looks like XYZ, but doctor thinks that success looks like ABC, well, then we have a problem. That's not going to go well. You're both in trouble at that point. So what we want to be able to do is get the entire team of decision makers, whoever that involves, we want to get them all on the same page when it comes to our goals.
That's right. And one of our recommendations to make this more realistic is to plan your goals, drum roll please, by quarters. This has become a huge game changer for so many of our practices. You may have several different things that you want to achieve this year, right? But if you try to get 100 Google reviews and run a contest and redo your website and create an Invisalign campaign and increase your Instagram followers all at once, phew, you see how that could fizzle out really fast, right? Please just choose 1 or 2 focuses for each quarter and then dig in, man, and create your plan to reach that goal and make it great. These marketing plan worksheets are designed to help actually get it done. Woohoo, we're going to get this done. I don't know about you, but if my plan isn't in a checklist, I'm going to forget at least half of it. That's not cool.
Shannon, I am with you. I need my lists. So let's dig into these planning sheets in a little more detail and see how we can use them. I want you to think about what kinds of supporting tasks are going to help you reach your goal. So let's look at this example here, and this sample is in your workbook for reference later on. This practice's goal is to get more Google reviews. They're starting with 16 and their goal is 100. That's aggressive, but it's achievable. And they've given themselves a deadline. So, what are some of the things that they're going to do to help themselves reach that goal? Well, they're going to print reviews, desk displays, and keep those throughout the office. They're going to add a Google review link to their post-op emails. They're going to share their Google review link on social media and set up a practice session for the team on how to ask for reviews without it being awkward. Practice sessions are amazing. We can see here that they've added all these different supporting tasks here to this sheet that's going to help them reach that big picture goal. Now, this is all very doable, especially considering that the tasks are spread out over a 3-month period of time. You'll notice too that each item is assigned to a specific person and it has a due date. This is super helpful for accountability to make sure that everyone is working together towards the goal. So think about your own marketing goals and then what kinds of efforts might support it. That could include video, that could include social media, maybe a blog post, an email campaign, or adding a new page to your website, or a new promotion, maybe a contest. There's lots of different things that could contribute towards that big picture goal, and these sheets are there to help you get that all organized and planned out. Now, I want you all to remember though that when we're setting goals, we want them to be simple. If we don't keep our goals simple and achievable, then they may not get done. So the best way to do it is to break up the tasks, write them out, assign them, give them a due date, spread the load amongst not only you, but also your team so that it's much more reachable. And then this step is also very important. At the end of the quarter, we want to review. Did we meet our goal? And if you didn't meet your goal, that's fine. It's still a learning experience, right? So think about, okay, what were some of the roadblocks that we hit? What are some of the things that we learned for next time? Because marketing, we're always going to be doing things to promote the practice. We're always going to be learning and growing, and that's a really good thing. Now, since we're talking about goal setting and reaching these goals, let's chat for a minute about something that I think all of us have encountered. Sometimes when we set a goal, this is what we think the path is going to look like. Smooth sailing. This is so easy. I should have done this years ago. No big deal, right? That's not what it looks like. The reality is sometimes it looks like this. There are ups and downs. It's not linear. We start out excited, but then the computers crash and we lose a ton of work. And then we get back on track. And then we have to fire a team member and we lose momentum. And then we get back on track and everyone gets excited again. It's important to remember that those little dips, they're not bad. You're still on the right path. You're still on the upward trajectory. So even if you lose a little bit of momentum, that's okay. That's normal. Don't get discouraged. Just keep on going. Trust the process. You might get off course, but just get right back on. You'll have your priority set. You know your destination. Don't get so discouraged that you throw in the towel. Just keep going and trust the process. So we're going to take a second. We're going to go over a couple more key takeaways. We want to set SMART goals for our marketing, and we know SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Finally, we want to choose one marketing focus for a quarter. We cannot emphasize this enough. This is one of our favorite tips. This is going to be achievable, and then you can plan out the tasks to support it. So at this point, I'm going to actually turn the reins over to our creative director, Charlie. She's going to give us a quick preview of how we can go from goals to go time.
Hi, this is Charlie from Roadside, and in this quick video, you'll learn how to take your goals and turn them into a real-life strategy and action plan. Number 1, schedule it. The first step is to block out time in your schedule for planning your marketing, either monthly or quarterly. And really, it's not one size fits all. For some, this could be a 2-hour block once a week. For others, it might be more realistic to do just a little bit every day. Or it might work better to block out an entire day, once a month or once a quarter, to do all of your marketing planning at one time. Every practice is different, and every one of you is different. So just do what works for you. The important thing is to schedule it. Number 2, choose your focus. Next, you're going to want to pick a focus for each quarter. Sometimes The biggest barrier to accomplishing our marketing goals is trying to tackle too much all at once. It gets overwhelming or overly expensive or too time-consuming, and then we just want to throw in the towel. Well, there is a better way. Let's break it up into bite-sized pieces. For example, maybe for quarter one, you'll just focus on reviews. But then for quarter two, you'll work on promoting one specific service. Once you've chosen your focus, you can plan all your marketing efforts to support that one goal. Number 3 is to get your team on board. Your team can't help you work towards the practice's goals if they don't know what they are. Once a quarter, schedule a marketing planning meeting with your entire team to review the focus for the quarter and how it relates to the practice's overall goals. And you can make it something to look forward to. Think about ordering in lunch or bringing in some treats or coffees. At this planning meeting, you're going to ask your team for their marketing ideas and tell them to think outside of the box. Getting fresh ideas from your team can breathe new life into your marketing and help you avoid getting stuck in a rut. In your team discussion, be sure to build on each other's ideas and make it a safe space with no criticism allowed. Now, this doesn't mean you have to implement every idea, but get them all out there and encourage crazy ideas. You never know where they might lead. And the more ideas, the better. It's also a good idea to narrow down the ideas that you actually want to try this quarter and save the other ideas for another time. You could also create a contest for the team because let's face it, we all love free stuff. So consider offering small prizes for team members who contribute the best ideas, or introduce a contest that will motivate your team to participate in working towards that quarter's goal. Contests are a great motivator, and the more often you do them, the more the actions will become part of your team culture. Number 4 is to make it happen. Ask your team to volunteer for marketing tasks, and use our weekly checklist to get it all scheduled and keep everyone accountable. Use a marketing calendar to plan out your timelines and deadlines, either on paper or digitally, whatever works for you. Finally, get out there and capture what you already do every day, and then share it with your community. As always, please let us know if you have any questions for us.
I love Charlie's enthusiasm in that video. Okay, so let's review a couple of the points that Charlie shared with us. The first is that we want to schedule our marketing time. Marketing efforts are an investment in the success of the practice. If we leave it up to chance, it's very easy for that to get crowded out by other tasks, right? I think we've all experienced that. It's very easy to happen. So we want to block out some time for marketing planning. That is going to look different for each of you and what your schedules look like. For some people, it would make sense to do that, maybe block out an entire day for yourself once a quarter. For others, it might be more realistic to plan a 4-hour chunk once a month, or maybe a 1-hour chunk every single week. All of you are different. The most important thing is to schedule it so that it actually happens. And then we also really recommend minimizing distractions during that time. Maybe put your phone on airplane mode and make sure that you can have some quiet, uninterrupted, creative mode time. Next, we want to choose our focus. We talked about this earlier when we talked about setting quarterly goals. Now we're going to put that into practical terms. When you choose your focus, you want to think about the supporting tasks that are going to help you get that focus done, and then put that all in your checklists. Use those quarterly checklists to help get it done. And as you do this, remember, you want to keep it simple. Be authentic. Don't feel like you have to do every single idea that comes in your mind. Think about, okay, does this fit our UVP? Does it fit our values? And think about your audience too. After doing that customer persona exercise, you know the needs and the problems of your potential patients. And so don't feel like you have to do everything. Make your marketing decisions based on that research. Remember, this is your marketing action plan, not somebody else's. So you want to do what fits your UVP. And then along with that, as we do this planning work, we want to always, always, always keep our team in the loop. So Shannon, help us out. How are we going to keep our team involved and engaged and excited?
Number 3, get your team on board. Now, hear us out on this one. Even if you are the main person that does the marketing in your practice, Your team can't help you work towards the practice goals if they don't know about them. Schedule a marketing planning meeting with the entire team to review the focus for the quarter and how it relates to the practice's overall goals. Make it fun. Switch up your environment. Go to the park or a cool coffee shop. Get away from distractions in the day-to-day and really focus on this for an hour or two. Getting outside or in a new environment is super good for creativity. It also builds culture. Ask your team for their marketing ideas. Tell them to think outside the box and forget what they know. Getting fresh ideas from your team can breathe new life into your marketing and help you avoid getting stuck in a rut, which a lot of practices do. We want to build on ideas from one another, so make it a safe place. No criticism allowed. It doesn't mean that you have to implement every idea, but get them out there and encourage crazy ideas. You never know where they'll lead. And the more ideas, the better. Quantity is good here. Use the quarterly checklist and discuss weekly or monthly goals. Now you'll be able to build on what you've already started. Fill it out together. Rotate responsibilities to keep things interesting.
So the tools in your action plan workbook, they're designed for you to use together with your team. So these tools are going to help you get the ideas rolling. And so remember, these are just tools. Don't feel like you have to use every single one. Think about what is going to be most applicable for your practice, for your team, for your UVP, and use those. If you take a look at section 3 in your workbook, we've put a ton of really fun resources together for you to use to help you get the team involved, to help with planning and accountability and timeline and coming up with ideas. Seriously, when it comes to making the marketing happen, the struggle is real. Am I right? So this tool is going to help you get it done. And it's also going to help you create that marketing culture within the practice. So let's recap just a couple of more quick takeaways. We want to schedule the time for marketing planning, choose just one marketing focus each quarter, get the team on board with a marketing planning meeting, and then you use the resources in section 3 of your action plan workbook to really get the creative juices flowing. Now, we have 3 top tips to help you take your planning and your goals and then to make it happen. We use these methods with our clients across the country. We've seen them work. They include creating a marketing mindset within the practice, looking for marketing moments, and then using a marketing station. Charlie's going to dive in and elaborate a little bit more on each of these.
Hi, this is Charlie from Roadside, and in this quick video, we're going to give you 3 tips to help you help your team become marketing rock stars. Marketing your practice doesn't have to fall on your shoulders alone, so let's learn how to get your entire team involved. Number 1, create a marketing mindset. In just 5 to 10 minutes during your morning huddles, we suggest that you review your weekly, monthly, or quarterly marketing goals. You can also brainstorm ideas for achieving your goals, like how to ask for reviews or discuss fresh content ideas for your social media. It's also a great idea to look ahead at the schedule and note if there are any marketing opportunities, like a specific patient that you want to ask for a review or take a photo with. And finally, be sure to use our weekly marketing checklist to keep it all organized. This checklist is easy to use and will create accountability and help get your entire team involved. Number 2, make it easy to act upon marketing moments. What we like to call marketing moments pop up every single day. These could be asking for a Google review, chatting about your referral program, or snapping a selfie with one of your favorite patients. Here are a few simple ways to start noticing and acting upon these marketing moments as they pop up. Now, we already mentioned morning huddles, so use this time to anticipate and plan for your own marketing moments. And be sure to have marketing materials on hand throughout the office, like in operatories, at the front desk, in the waiting room. These could be desk displays highlighting your referral program, a contest or a special offer, or they could be small cards that your team can actually hand out. Number 3, set up a marketing station. Now, this next tip goes right along with tip number 2. By setting up a marketing station, you'll make it easy for your team members to grab what they need when the marketing moments pop up. Your marketing station could include fun signs and props for photos, a selfie stick, selfie light, a tripod or microphone for easy videos, or buttons for your team to wear for current promotions. And your marketing station doesn't even have to be expensive. All of these items can be ordered on Amazon and cost between $5 and $20. So you can build a pretty amazing station for less than $100. So to recap, in just 3 steps, your team can become marketing rock stars by adopting a marketing mindset, looking out for marketing moments, and making use of your new marketing station. So, happy marketing! And as always, please let us know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Charlie. Okay, are you excited? I'm excited. So now that we're all very excited, Shannon, how do we take this information and then make it all happen?
That is such a good question. Or a marketing culture, right? Remember what we talked about in the very beginning about putting ourselves in that creative, positive mindset? Well, before bringing this to the team, make sure you've changed your energy to a positive energy. You've put in the work to make it successful. Now bring that energy to the team. The last thing we want is for all of this to just fizzle out because life happens, or maybe people have tried it in the past and it's fizzled out, so they're not that excited about it. But now look at all these amazing tools that you have in this strategy. So make sure and really fight for and keep that energy, that positive attitude high to create this culture. And many practices have found morning huddles to be a great time for this. And in just 5 to 10 minutes a day, you have created the start of your new culture. Review marketing goals, tasks, and where things are at. Are any team members roadblocked from getting their tasks done? Well, discuss the solutions. Maybe let's start role-playing a little bit for the quarter's focus. Has there been successes? Share them. Let's celebrate. Look at those yummy cupcakes in that picture. Let's celebrate. Let's bring fun things into these morning huddles. Use your action plan tools and resources, both the quarterly goal sheet and the weekly checklist. This can help make this very achievable. You really want to create positive energy in a culture where everyone has a marketing mindset that is directly connected to looking for marketing moments. Now it's fun. Marketing moments could include, let's say, asking for a Google review, chatting about your new, fresh referral campaign, your team snapping a quick photo at a local coffee shop or lunchtime, or a selfie with your favorite patients from the Instagram. Look at this slide that we have up here. You're not only marketing and getting that out to the community, that team is having fun together outside of the norm of what you guys do every day, and they're capturing this. Another top tip would be for that quarter, together as a team, create a hashtag for the quarter. There's no wrong way to smile or something similar to that. This really helps keep it at top of mind. Look at these photos. What do you notice in here? Is it just in the dental practice that you're now able to do that hashtag? No, man. Your team is now out having pizzas, or they're with their kids and they see these cute, fun cookies and they take a picture of it and send it to you. They're out having coffee or with their favorite pet, and they think about that hashtag and they send it, and they're really getting a picture of how wonderful and likable that you are. Just change up this hashtag every quarter, and it keeps the team focused on a marketing mindset.
I love this slide mostly because that's my dog there at the top. Charlie mentioned in the video that another way to help create this culture where everyone is on the lookout for marketing moments is to have marketing materials handy throughout the practice. These can be really simple printed desk displays or even screensavers on the televisions or the operatory computers. You can have them throughout the office in the waiting area, at the front desk, in the operatories themselves. The value of these printed materials is that They're conversation starters. So they can help remind your team to bring up maybe your current contest or referral program or asking for a review. And even if your team doesn't bring it up, the patients might see them and ask questions. They're fantastic conversation starters, so we absolutely recommend having these throughout your office. And then there's the marketing station. We love a good marketing station. Now, the beauty of a marketing station is that it's simple, it's inexpensive, and it's ready to grab and go when those marketing moments strike. So what kinds of things can you include in that marketing station? Well, we recommend having a designated office smartphone or iPad, something to take pictures and videos with. But then other things that can be included could be fun props and signs, a very simple tripod, or even a Ring selfie light. You can get great microphones and other things to help enhance the quality of smartphone videos. You can also include maybe buttons for your team to wear that show off a current promotion or ask, have you left us a review? Again, conversation starters. And the marketing station does not need to be expensive. Most of the things that I just mentioned, you can purchase them on Amazon. They're very inexpensive. You can really build a pretty amazing marketing station for less than $100. So at this point, we want to recap just a few more takeaways. And we got these from our video with Charlie. We want to build a marketing mindset or a marketing culture within the practice. And we want everyone on the team to get involved for watching for those marketing moments. And then our marketing station. It's inexpensive, but it can really help make it easy to capture those moments when they strike. So we've covered a lot of ground today. And so in conclusion, we want to remember what we talked about at the very beginning. Think about the amazing things that you do for people every single day. You help them regain their confidence, overcome their fear. You help them smile and laugh freely again and live happier, healthier lives. That's really, really special. Marketing is simply sharing that value with the world, shouting it from the rooftops. Now, you've got your 12-month marketing action plan. We hope that you feel confident to use it to build out your plan for the entire upcoming year. And we recommend taking it somewhere like your local office supply store and having it printed and bound. This copy, we have a great cover on it, a front cover and a back cover to help make it really sturdy and valuable for the entire year. And remember, it's designed to reprint and reuse year after year after year. So please make use of it. And if you need assistance, you can always reach out to us for help. Now, we covered a lot of big picture stuff today, which meant that we did not have time to dive into specific topics as much as we would love to. But I do want to just share with everybody that as you get started on these different marketing efforts, we have created a wealth of different webcasts and videos that are deeper dives onto specific subjects. So if you're an ADOM member, you can find our webcasts in the webcast library. We've done deep dive webcasts on what your website needs to include, on blogging, on SEO, on creating your marketing dream team, all of those different areas, building your brand. So you can access those from the ADOM webcast library. We also want to briefly state that if this is overwhelming, or if you feel like you really need assistance, or if you feel like you have more questions, we are here to help. Of course, we're going to have the Q&A in just a few minutes with Angela, but we're also available anytime you need us. Our contact information is here on the screen. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you want assistance with your website, with your marketing, if you just have questions, or even if you just want to say hi. So on behalf of myself and Shannon and Angela and the rest of the team at Roadside, thank you so much for spending this time with us today, and we look forward to meeting you again soon.